The SMME Council is not a federation or a forum. It's a round table for different small business organizations, 56 at the moment, and still growing. The council was established because the small business department does not have a council for small business, a council that will assist the minister in developing policy and in implementing programs. So small businesses came together and established their own council with the aim of doing what the council that the minister is supposed to establish would have done. The first policy is to draft a small business charter. In the G20 community, which includes the BRICS community, South Africa is the only country that doesn't have a small business charter. So this is why we are not going anywhere. We don't even know where we are, where we were, or where we're going. The charter will help us to know how many steps have we traveled to get to where. This is one. Two, the council has established or developed what we call, it's a graduate small business to corporate policy, which is what everyone is fighting for now. We have the industrialization of townships and rural areas policy, which is what we are now fighting for vigorously. All these policies have been submitted to the Minister of Small Business Development, and there's been no response from the department. So currently it's just business as usual with the minister. It's like giving people in the township small businesses and not empowering them, and expect them to swim themselves out of a swamp that has been created by this very government. So what is happening currently? We have different programs. One, we want the minister to host a small business charter summit where all businesses from all angles will come and contribute to the charter. What we have drafted now is just a skeleton, so we need to put flesh to bone and let it live. Two, we want the industrialization of townships. There are different measures that we have put in place. One of them, we want the BEE Commission to work with us in this regard. What we are trying to avoid is what is currently happening. When you have an office in the township, you are regarded as inferior by everyone in the supply chain, so they don't take you seriously. They will rather give business to the one who has an office in town, because there's this perception that they will be able to deliver. So what do we want? We want government to change this notion. We want government to continue with its BEE scorecard, the 10 to 20 points. So let's say I, for one, have an office in town. Let's just say I had an office in town. I would get my BE points. I would get the 80% or 90% points for pricing when I'm applying for a tender. Get my 20 or 10 points for the BE status. Then someone who has an office in a township or a rural area will also get the same. But let's just say I'm better in pricing. They will get their 87%, for instance, then get their 10 to 20 BE points, but they must also get additional BE points for being located in a township. In this way, we will be able to drive investment in the form of tenders to townships. This will then trigger exodus of development in townships. The developers or whoever will then build offices in townships. They will then build flats or houses, better houses in townships. Investors will be able to build their firms in townships, because now they have confidence that townships can be able to host offices without any violence. That's what we want. 2, we have malls that are being built in townships. We have ShopRites and other retail companies that are investing in townships. But the owners do not reside in townships. So what these people do, they just collect money from us and take it to wherever they are. Take it to Stellenbosch. This cannot be. These people come to townships with one thing in mind. That is to completely crush small businesses or black-owned businesses in townships. Because black people, their only hope of survival, their only hope of accessing markets, it's where they reside, in townships and in rural areas. So these people, they've just decided that they're going to monopolize business to white skin. They take these malls to townships, they collect money, and they force us to open offices in towns. In the morning, you drive to town, your staff will have to take a taxi, follow you to town. You trade in town, you buy food, you bank, you do everything in town, buy airtime, whatever in town, and you come back to sleep at night in the township. You've done nothing for your livelihood, your livelihood. So this has to stop. It has to change. Clearly, government doesn't want to change it. And if government doesn't want to change it, only us can change this. We want all the all the malls in townships to give 30% of their equity to small businesses in the townships. We want all these shops, the time has come for ShopRite and Checkers to decentralize their shops and allocate 30% to township-based businesses. 30%. We are not talking about 100%. We are not talking about 51%. We're talking about 30%. We want to make sure that when we go to these malls to shop, at least something must remain in our area. Because as I said, these people are just collecting this money that we wake up, go to town and work hard for. They don't want it to develop us. This has to change. You see companies digging in townships, companies building tar roads in townships, companies building, say it electric, what is it? ESCOM is building the electricity power sites in townships. As I said, people are digging, putting fiber. People are building tar roads. People are building everything in townships. But township-based small businesses are not benefiting. Right now in Vaal, we have an 8 billion rand project that is being built by a company that doesn't even reside in that area. So these companies have to give 30% to these small businesses. The small businesses have to benefit from projects that are taking place in their wards. It cannot be that government or whoever would invest in that ward, in the infrastructure development, and businesses that are based in that ward are not benefiting. It's unfair. Again, when you talk about rural development, government talks about traditional or tribal lands as if only a chief resides there. But we have millions of people that reside there. What is happening currently? Government is only providing water and electricity. Government is providing services that generates revenue for government. Government knows that it will benefit, but things like building schools and clinics in these tribal lands, government is not providing that. We are not talking about service delivery, we are business people. What we are saying is that there are people that are residing in these areas that are business people. They do not have access to institutions such as SEDA and SEFA. We want SEDA and SEFA to be based, to be visible, or to have offices in those tribal lands. They must support these people. We have an opportunity in South Africa to build the entire world in one country. You know, in tribal lands we can build our own Dubai. But Dubai was built by people, and we need to support these people to build their own Dubai in their own lands. We have a supply chain in government. Currently, you'll have one supply chain director or manager and one bids and contracts manager. That manager, the bids and contracts manager, when a tender goes out, you all bid for that tender, both corporate and small business. And you have to be evaluated as equals. You have companies that are more than 125 years old, corporate companies that have people that are employed only for tenders. They have years and years of experience when it comes to compiling tenders, and those people are being put in the same bucket or basket with a 1-year-old or 2-year-old small business. It's unfair. What we want the policy that was proposed or that was adopted, that tenders that are 30 million rands and below must be awarded to small businesses. 30 million and below. We do not want to compete with corporate in these tenders. We must compete with ourselves and service those tenders ourselves. We want RFQs to be given only to SMMEs because they help us with cash flow. We cannot compete with big business, people that are making a minimum of 2 billion rands profit a term. Can't compete. I mean, we are fighting for 100,000. Not even 100,000, 10,000 rands. We also want what was proposed. People were being trained, but it has been cancelled. It was said that tenders that are above 30 million rands can be awarded to corporate business or corporate companies, but there must be two commissions. One commission must evaluate small business and the other commission must evaluate corporate company. The corporate commission must award to one company and the small business commission must award to a minimum of 2 small businesses. The corporate company and the SMMEs must then be forced into a joint venture, meaning that when an SLA is drafted, it should be a joint venture SLA and not just your normal SLA. And the SMME or the corporate company must then report to government on how much it has supported the 2 SMMEs with and what skills did it transfer to the 2 SMMEs. And the SMMEs must then report on how much support they received from the corporate company and what skills they acquired, and as a result of the joint venture, how many people did they employ. We want this to be brought back. And what we want to change, we want the SLA, government SLAs to change. This policy of holding prices valid for 12 months is unfair. Yes, it's fair to a corporate company because these people can buy in bulk, keep stock, trade, and still make huge profits. But a small business buys as per demand. When government places an order, they then go and purchase because they do not have money to procure in bulk. We want this to be changed because this SLA currently, it's a one-size-fits-all. You cannot draft a stationary contract SLA the same way you draft an IT contract SLA. IT prices are valid for 1 day. We have a SITA contract which holds prices valid for 3 months and not for 12 months. This contract is designed to massacre small business. We want it changed. These prices must be reduced to 90 days and not 12 months. And what we want the BEE foreign investment policy to be changed. Currently, the 25% is benefiting the same people, which includes our very own president. What was proposed was that the international or foreign investors must not look for a black partner in the already empowered black business owners. What was proposed was that foreign or international investors must work with SEDA to source BEE partners to whom the 25% will be donated. What was proposed was that SEDA must select 5 companies that will share in the 25%, which means each company will be given 5%, and it will only happen once. Once a company has been empowered, they must be removed from the database and select other companies that have not been empowered. In this way, imagine owning 5% of Coca-Cola. Small business will be graduated to corporate faster than we could ever think. This corruption that people must fight for power to get access to this 25% must be stopped. If we are serious about building our economy, we must grow small business. Small business does not have funds to buy technology in order to operate. So what they do, they employ people, and those people are then removed from the basket of unemployment. So if government is serious about job creation, then government will then invest in small business. But not just any small business. The small business that must be given this 5% is small business that is located in townships and in rural areas. Only that way we will be able to industrialize our townships and our rural areas. We should not treat our people, which are in majority, as nothing but animals. It's unfair, it's uncalled for, it's evil of our government. We want this to stop. That's what the SMME Council is about. Currently, the president has its own business delegation. So, government has a budget. It allocates this budget to the presidential business delegation. We do not want corporate business to talk on our behalf. They do not know what we are going through. Government should have its business delegation, and government must have small business delegation when the president is traveling abroad. We want to have our own gala dinner where we will meet with other SMMEs from other countries and discuss challenges, discuss opportunities, sign agreements, investment agreements between ourselves. We want government to travel with us. We cannot be treated like a secondary human beings. We are not. We cannot be treated like retards, as we are currently by this very government. We want to have a seat at NEDLEC, a small business. Government, labor, and business, corporate business, negotiated the minimum wage between themselves, and they agreed on a minimum wage without taking small business into consideration. We want that minimum wage to be opened again. We want a clause for small business. The minimum wage cannot be a one-size-fits-all. A company, a small business that is based in Standerton, Sakile Township, cannot afford to pay 3,500 to an employee. Even ShopRite and others are not paying 3,500 to their employees. They're paying 1,500, 1,700. So why must we be compelled by government to pay 3,500? This government has only one policy. They say one thing and do something else. They have one thing in mind, and that is to shut down competition, because they are swimming in the same pool with the corporate owners, with the likes of Rupert's and so forth. We know this. It's a public knowledge. So they cannot use us to feed the hunger of these vultures. And we will not allow them to destroy us. And we will not allow government to condemn us as black people in townships and in rural areas to eternal poverty. We cannot allow this. We need government to work with us. The time has come. People have freedom. Most small business owners do not even know what is apartheid. They are told what is apartheid. They have a new struggle. We all have a new struggle. Our struggle to us is not even new, because we don't know what apartheid is. We have one struggle, and that is poverty. We need to eradicate poverty. We need support, government support. We need business support, which is why, again, we are calling for a central supplier database for corporate companies. Small businesses are not doing business with corporate companies. Corporate companies are doing business between themselves. We want to be part of that. We want to have access to that market. And so we need to have not the current paid corporate supplier database. No, we want them to access us on a free central supplier database for corporate business. Not only for the JSE listed companies, but for any company that qualifies to be called a corporate company. That's what we want. That's what we are fighting for. And what we are doing as well, we are working on a lecture, an RET lecture. We want high school students or learners in townships and in rural areas to know what is radical economic transformation. We want university students to be taught about RET. Right now, it has been painted as a demon. It's not a demon. It is there to build our country, to industrialize our country, to create employment for them, and to empower them. Those that want to start their businesses, it will be easier for them to start their businesses at tertiary level. That's what RET is all about. We are planning these lectures, working together with student formations and big business that is pro South African development agenda. We'll be hosting these in all 26 universities. We want to educate the world about RET. We do not want the greedy corporate owners to massacre this very noble project that we have started. That's what we are all about.